Howdy folks, I'm back on the Land Cruiser project here with the power steering conversion. I have both of my belts on. My power steering pump and my alternator are nice in line with my crankshaft. Everything's looking really good, and I'm moving on to doing the hoses, the pressure and the return. So I'm going to bring the camera over. I'll show you the scenario here, what this all looks like with the belts on it and everything. Then we'll move on to the hoses. Here's my power steering pump, my power steering belt. In front of that is the fan belt that comes off of the crankshaft and runs up to the water pump. And there's my alternator. So I got everything all lined up nicely. Hopefully you can see it pretty well down in there. If I line you up with it here, let me line you up with it here like this, and you can kind of see everything's kind of like nice and in line. My power steering pump is nice and straight up and down. Everything's good. So next thing I'm going to do here is we're going to connect our pressure and return lines to our box. So one of the things you'll notice is you have two connections on the box and then two on the pump. Well, the lines that are supplied with this particular kit are different sizes, so it's really easy to figure out. You find out which one of these two screws onto here, and then you know which one is your pressure and your return. So your pressure line will have two flare fittings like this and like this one here, and then your return line is going to look like this. It's going to have the flared line with just a hose clamp and then another piece of hose here that's going to slide right onto our return fitting here. Because the pressure line that runs the pump is under high pressure, the return line is just to return the fluid back to the pump, and that's at low pressure, so it doesn't need that fitting. So now I'm going to work on getting these lines routed and tucked away so they look right and everything. And once I have that all set, I'll come back on and show you where we're at there. Alright, so here we are back here. Here's our pump. I got my pressure line running. I weaved it on up and through some looms that I put on here, and it goes over to here. Then my return line comes off of here. I got the little clamp on there, nice and tight. Coming up, it's following this one and going back to my return. So right now, basically my entire power steering system is all set. I'm gonna fill the system with some power steering fluid, and then we'll be ready to go. I do have some other stuff I got to do to the truck before we can fire it up, but we're getting closer. Okay folks, so at this point our power steering conversion is complete. I went through the whole thing with you, the disassembly, the mounting of the bracket, the mounting of the pump, the rag joint, the centering the steering box, the steering linkage, mounting the steering box to the new brackets, putting the heat shield on there, removing the smog pump bracket, bolting on the power steering pump bracket, mounting the power steering pump, the installation of the belts, the installation of the hoses. I have topped this off with fluid. Can't run it and show you the final result because I have some other work to do to the engine. I got a carburetor to put on here and an exhaust and some other things. But once I do get that completed, I'll fire it up, I'll have a little video, I'll show you how everything works. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm Troy Kane. The website is vtwinstov8s.com. vtwinstov8s on Facebook. Look at my Facebook page, like me on Facebook, tune into my videos. I have a lot of videos on there. It shows you how to do all kinds of different things. Whatever I do that I think somebody else could use some help on, I make a video for it and I put it up there. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.